Friday and welcome to Fridays with T. I'm your host Tiara. Thank you guys so much for joining me for today's video. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you like this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up. Also hit the subscribe button below. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that you're aware whenever I post a new video. Let's go ahead and get started with today's video. Before I start with today's video, I want to give a huge shout out to all of you guys, my subscribers. I put a request in last Friday for a few more subscribers to push me over the 100 subscriber mark, and I did. Like within minutes of posting the video, I hit over 100 subscribers. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. For those of you who like and share my videos on Facebook, thank you guys so much. So let's go ahead and get started with today's video for real. For those of you who are watching my video, you probably noticed the title of today's video. I'll be talking about Juneteenth. By today being June 19th or Juneteenth, and also Fridays with T, I thought that it was very fitting for me to use this as an opportunity to educate my viewers on what Juneteenth is all about. Now, if you're anything like I was, I didn't really grow up celebrating Juneteenth. It wasn't something that I really began to become aware of until adulthood. So like many of you this year, I took advantage of the opportunity to kind of re-educate myself and research. It's my desire for you to use this video as a starting point. So keep watching for some awesome information about Juneteenth.
Juneteenth is a deeply emotional moment for enslaved people because for decades, for centuries, enslaved people prayed for, hoped for, fought for in the form of slave rebellions, running away, bought their freedom when they could. And if you read slave narratives, if you listen to spirituals from the era of slavery, you know that enslaved people longed for freedom. This was something that had been hoped for, but many believe may never come. Being able to go wherever they wanted, being able to wonder about. For enslaved people, it was an expression of their freedom. When I think about Juneteenth, I think about it in the context of Emancipation Day celebrations that began January 1, 1863. They took on a whole new meaning when slavery was formally abolished after 1865. You would have had African-American veterans who fought in the Civil War be prominent in these celebrations, dressed in their military garb, speeches from enslaved people, the most prominent Black politicians singing of hymns, spirituals, discussions of registering to vote. Enslaved people celebrating in public their newfound freedom was an act of resistance. Because we have to remember, slavery came to an end after a 4 years bloody Civil War. Still the bloodiest conflict in American history. Many people in the South and in the nation who did not want to see slavery abolished fought tooth and nail to block the 13th Amendment. The abolition of slavery created a huge humanitarian crisis in the South. Suddenly 4 million people have very little means to take care of themselves, to support themselves, and do so in a really hostile environment. So the military was necessary to make sure that enslaved people got the food, the medicine, the shelter that they needed in order to survive. They're also there to protect, to the extent that that was possible, freed people from violence, from recriminations from slaveholders, from Confederates who still hadn't given up the fight. When the last federal troops leave the South, it's a signal to Southerners. The federal government wasn't going to put its might into ensuring the civil rights of Black people would be observed. You have 20, 30 years later, Black people being lynched in public, and there isn't a federal anti-lynching law to protect them. In most communities in America, there's a history of lynching and racial violence, and very few communities have marked that, commemorated that. Every decade since the end of slavery, Black people have been more educated, accrued more wealth, more status in American society. Every decade since 1865. But there's been one constant, and that constant is the presence of random racist violence. Even though slavery came to an end in 1865, the desire to master and dominate Black bodies did not. And we have never dealt with that. These are the kinds of stark realities that are highlighted during Juneteenth. If Black people's lives can be expunged through racist violence and no one is held accountable, how free are we? Are we free?
Now, many Blacks are taking today as an opportunity to support Black-owned businesses. Some may be celebrating with barbecues or just getting together. Some are choosing to celebrate by protesting. Some celebrate by educating those around them, by continuing the dialogue about inequality and racism in the U.S. and the effects of racism on Black people historically and today. However you choose to celebrate Juneteenth, I want to do my part. So I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. As always, thank you guys for taking a few minutes out of your busy day to join me. I also want to take this opportunity to just give a shout out to a Black-owned business that I recently learned about, and it's called Heart Wraps, and it's the company that I got my head wrap from. If you like it and you're interested in purchasing one, go ahead and check out the description box below. I'll post all the details. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Fridays with T, and I'll see you next Friday with a brand new video. Bye.